Hello folks, welcome to the channel and welcome to the Man Cave. So those of you that follow me on my channel will already know that I've tested the Carpuride W702. So I'll put a link in the description down below, somewhere up here as well. Go and have a look at that. So the W702 from Carpuride, if you've not seen or heard about these things, basically it's a touchscreen which you can mirror from your iPhone via CarPlay or your Android phone via Android Auto. You can send all that information onto the screen and have great navigation, phone calls and all that kind of stuff. So the 702, very nice bit of kit. Go and check out the description down below and that's where you'll find a in-depth review of the unit and the functionality of it as well. So go and check that out. But sometimes you might want something a little bit smaller. So today we have something a little bit smaller from Carpuride, and they have also sent me their W502. So this is their 5-inch offering of a touchscreen. So let me just put my bit of paper there. So the 502 compared to the 702, yeah, 7 inches diagonal across the screen and 5 inches across the screen. So depending on what kind of bike you've got, what kind of room you've got on the bike, you may want the 7-inch or you may want the 5-inch. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to be having a look at the 5-inch unit on my BMW R1250GS. Now, like I say, I've already done a review and an in-depth review actually on the W702, so I'm not going to go over old trodden ground. So click on the link in the description down below and it will tell you all you need to know about how to operate the 702 and also the 502, because they're pretty much the same units actually. So let's just talk about the 502 first. I need my bit of paper. So the 502 from Carpuride, and yeah, disclaimer, they sent me all of this stuff free of charge. So the W502 from Carpuride, and together with the BMW bracket. So we're also talking about the BMW bracket, which actually fits into the OEM BMW Cradle. If you've got one of these, make sure it's not upside down. Yeah, the BMW Cradle. So that fits on the back of your Carpuride, either the 502 or the 702, that will fit both. And then it then fits into the unit like that. So you can lock it and then walk away and nobody's going to steal the unit, hopefully. So that's what we're talking about today, is the 502 with the BMW mount on the back of it. And I'll show you how to fit those. But price-wise for the 502 and the BMW mount, that's going to set you back, let's have a look, £235.94. That's at today's value, or today's price, sorry. And then if you put a discount code, I'll put it up here, so my discount code, that will get you a further $50 off, which is about £40. So put that code in and you get another 40 quid off. But if you want to go for the 702 with the BMW mounting bracket, that's going to cost you £251.67. Again, discount code, you get $50 or £40 off it. Now, if you just want to get the BMW mounting bracket on its own, that's going to set you back £39.62. But there's no discount code is applicable to that because it would be free of charge otherwise. And I believe if you go to the Carpuride website, then there potentially is some postage and packaging and maybe some import tax to pay as well, depending on which country you are buying the stuff from. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a look at the 5-inch on the bracket on the BMW, and then also I think we'll put the 7-inch on there as well. So if you've got the BMW and you're not too sure which one to go for, the 5-inch or the 7-inch, then hopefully this little video will give you some idea which may be the best unit for you. So without further ado, let's crack on. You can actually get the W502 on its own without the combination of the 502 and the BMW bracket. On its own, the W502 is going to cost you £204.54. But folks, just remember you get another $50 or £40 off that if you put that discount code on. So what do we get in the box then? Without going too mad about what we get in the box, we get the W502, which is a nice looking unit. Then you are going to get a handlebar mount, kind of a ball, ram ball kind of mount thing, and you can adjust it depending on what size, width of handlebar or mounting bar you've got. And there's a little rubber insert in there just to stop you scratching or damaging your handlebar. So you get a ram style mount. You also get the bar as well to attach that to. You then get a USB power connector if you've got a USB socket on your bike, and then also you've got a power cable to connect it directly to the battery, and that is fused as well. And you also get a packet of fuses, and then you get a little spanner for doing the things up, and then you also get a fairly comprehensive CarPlay manual as well, so fairly clear instructions. And then obviously the 502 itself, you've got the ball on the back of it, and the ball then fits on there, which then fits onto there and onto your handlebars, or wherever your final mounting position may be. So pretty straightforward to actually mount it, and fairly straightforward to actually mount or connect a power supply to the device. The unit itself carries an IP67 waterproof rating, and there is a power on off button on the side here. A little bit awkward if you've got big chunky fingers to push, and then you've also got a SD card slot for a 64GB micro SD card as well. And basically you can put some music and stuff on the SD card and then play music from here rather than stream it from your iPhone. So there is that facility available if that's your thing, but I don't actually use the internal or the SD card that you can put on there. But you can put a 64GB card in there for music and videos as well, if that's your kind of thing. So that is what we get in the box, all nicely put together and all of good quality. Now we're going to talk about the BMW mounting bracket, which attaches to the back of the touchscreen unit itself. So you just have to remove the screw on the back here, take the ball off, and then attach said back of the unit onto there, and then that then slots into the BMW Cradle. So I don't know if Carpuride are going to be very chuffed with me saying this. However, yeah, I am kind of an influencer kind of thing, I guess, but they did send me this free of charge. So it came down in a brown cardboard box, and when I fitted it all up, it actually didn't work. So I didn't know whether because I've actually taken this off the bike, so I didn't know whether the BMW Cradle itself and the power connection to it was defective, so I had to do some testing, and then I realised that the unit was actually fully functional and there was an issue because I went online as well. So again, I don't know if Carpuride are going to be very happy with me, but I like to be as transparent as I can. So basically the unit itself, there was a problem with that. Anyway, very simple fix. What I'll do is I'll put whilst I'm chatting. So basically I jumped on the internet, and at least one person had a problem with it, and then they said that in here there is a little magnet. So the magnet, when you actually put this and clip it into the cradle, the magnet then opens, I think it just opens a relay or something in here, which then means that when you connect the power and turn your ignition on, then the power is free to flow to the two sets of pins that power which connect to the two sets of pins on there. So that opens a gate for power to go into the unit, then into your device. So I spent several hours trying to work out what was wrong with the cradle, but there was nothing wrong with the cradle. It was actually the bracket itself from Carpuride. So again, I don't want to get in trouble, but just in case you've got one of these and it doesn't work, very simple fix, folks. I've got some DJI microphones, and I just nicked one of my little magnets. If I can find it, I will show you, because I haven't got the magnet on. So let me just reach here, folks. I've actually ordered some magnets from Amazon, actually. So basically I got a little magnet, and then as you can see on the video, there's 4 little screws here. I just remove this backing plate. You can see what it's like inside, and then you just position the magnet as per I've done it here, and then that will then allow the relay or whatever it is to open. It sucks it open, shall we call that, sucks it open, and then allows the power to flow from the power supply, in my case my BMW R1250GS, through the cradle, and then through the pins on the back, and then into the connector, and then into the Carpuride, and it's worked perfectly. So in fairness to Carpuride, they did say that they were aware of that. So I don't know if there's a batch that are floating around that are somewhat, they've forgot to put the magnets in, because there was no magnet in this. So I don't know if this is a pre-production unit or what, I don't know, but they are aware of it. So in fairness to Carpuride, they have addressed the issue and they're on top of it. So if you do have one of those, I don't know if it's an early unit or whatever, and you've got no power to it, don't bother checking all your power cradle or whatever. It's just the fact that you need to put a magnet in the back of there, and it really is a 5-minute job once you've got your magnet, and it's worked absolutely fine. So Carpuride, have to say, in fairness to you, You told me what to do, and although I knew basically what was wrong with it in the end, yeah. So just get a magnet if there's no power going to your touchscreen unit, whether it be the 5-inch or the 7-inch. So there we go. If I got into trouble from Carpuride, sorry guys, but I thought I just had to bring that to everybody's attention. Anyway, let's continue. Next thing we're going to do is mount this onto that. Very simple. So just take your screwdriver, undo the screw on the back of the screen. There we go. Remove that. Keep the screw. Pop that arrows up onto the back of the unit. Pop the screw in. And as simple as that. And all you need to do now is just connect the cables together. There we go, nice and watertight, and then just pop that. Push it in there, it's a little bit tight, and then there we go. And then that is it. That is now ready to go onto the BMW mount. All you do then, take the unit and then mount it onto the BMW Cradle. There you go, it's clicked in, it's locked, undo the key, job done. And then hopefully it will power up. Just like that. What you need to do next then is on your phone switch the Bluetooth and the wireless functions on, and then go into the general settings, select CarPlay on your phone, and then look for Carpuride on your phone, and then select it, go through the pairing process, allow all the contacts to sync, etc. And then once it's done that, you end up with the home screen like this, where on the Bluetooth icon at the top you've got the orange X. That's good, don't worry about that, that's correct. And then you've got the solid green CarPlay icon, and then you've got the time, which has been transferred from the phone onto the unit. So everything is connected correctly. That's what you're looking for, folks. Anything else and it's not connected properly. That's it, very simple. It should take you no more than 30 seconds to connect your phone to the unit. In relation to my motorcycle headset, I've got a Cardo Pactal Edge, and simply the phone is connected directly to the headset unit. So no need to connect the headset unit to this. It's all done through the phone. And just dive into Apple CarPlay just to make sure that everything is there. And there we go, we have the very nice Apple CarPlay screens. Let's take the bike out for a little bit of a test ride. Bosh. So here we are then, folks, out about on the BMW R1250GS. Obviously the 5-inch screen, you can attach that to any bike, but for today's video it is attached to the BMW's Cradle, and obviously we've put the BMW adapter plate onto the back of the 502, and that adapter plate will fit onto the back of the 702, the 7-inch screen, which I have got in my rucksack. So we'll change over the screens very shortly. If you're not too sure whether to go for the 5-inch or the 7-inch screen on your BMW 5-inch screen, though, it sits there absolutely no problems whatsoever, doesn't cut any of the TFT screen at all, but I think maybe the 7-inch might do, but we'll come to that when we actually come to change it very shortly. So the 5-inch screen then, very nice. If anything, and I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs how to use CarPlay. It's very simple to use, but basically if your phone dies, then there is nothing being mirrored to the unit. There is no internal batteries to it, there's no GPS inside it, there's nothing. It is just a mirroring device that relies on the power cable connecting it to a power supply, in this case the BMW OEM Power Cradle. So without your phone connected to it, CarPlay does not work. So the 5-inch screen then, very easy to read. It's a bright day today. There is no auto dimming function or auto brightness function, so you have to go into the menu and set it to your personal level. So I've got it actually set at full brightness at the moment, so darkness you're going to have to adjust it yourself. So the unit then, we're actually on the home screen for Apple's CarPlay, and yeah, it works fine. So I can just select the maps. There we go, maps, and it's just using the GPS data from the phone, and there we go, so it's found out where I am. So we're in the lovely parish of St Mary's on the beautiful island of Jersey. So I've got no route in there at the moment, so using Siri I can put a route in there. So hey Siri, give me directions to St Helier, Jersey. And there we go, it's coming through the headset, and it's got directions there to the capital of the island where I live, St Helier. So it's all pretty good actually. And then obviously you've got the other screen here that you can select. Careful not to have an accident. So you've got the multi-screen layout as well. So yeah, I'm not going to teach you how to use CarPlay, that's not what the video is for, but it's all there. The only thing is the icons down the left hand side, the last 3 apps that you've used in your CarPlay, they are a little bit on the small side to access, but yeah, you can access them. There we go, and the phone book as well, so it's all there. A little bit fiddly on the left hand side, but you've got the time, the phone signal strength and the battery strength on the phone as well. It's all visible as well. I wear varifocals, I've got no problems viewing it whatsoever. So yeah, let's just go back to the main screen. Yeah, you can scroll when it's safe to do so. So it all works really well actually. I haven't got any winter gloves, so I can't comment on winter gloves, but you might just have to have a pair of gloves that are going to work with the screen. So I've got this gloves with the touch capacitor screen on here. There is no, some of the units have got a rain mode, because all these units like the Garmin Zumos and indeed the Apple iPhones, when you get rain on the screen, the touch screen makes it act like it's been actually touched with your finger, so it can go a little bit nuts. Some units have got a button to stop that, this hasn't, but on the 702, the 7-inch screen, I went out in the rain, had no issues whatsoever, so I suspect that you shouldn't really get too many issues with this either. So yeah, that is the 5-inch screen. It's very nice, very easy to read. Put the maps back on there. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, what else is there to say about it? It's a nice looking unit, and it's not in your face. I think the 7-inch, I've had it on here before and it is in your face, but it is a really nice unit, so you're gonna have to make up your mind. Do you want the big unit in your face, or do you want something that looks in proportion on the bike? From the top of the top of the unit sits out about 5 centimeters from the edge of the cradle, and then at the bottom it sits out about 4 centimeters, I think it is, but I'll put something up here with a tape measure just so you can see. So this does sit a little bit proud from the actual BMW Power Cradle itself. I think what we'll do is just pull over, and then we'll put the 7-inch unit on as well. Before I pull over though, what I will say is these units are all about sort of 200 odd pounds or thereabouts, and they're really good units, you know. You've got a 12-month warranty with them, but the whole CarPlay thing has just gone, you know, just taken off over the last 6 months or so, with lots of units coming on the market. But it's a cracking little setup. It really is good. So I think we'll just pull over into the car park, change the screens over, and you'll just see what the difference is. Right, let's put the 7-inch screen on then, shall we? And this is the unit mounted onto the BMW Cradle. Right, let's put the 7-inch screen on, shall we? Right, so there's the 7-inch screen, screwdriver, release the bracket, out it comes, disconnect the power, undo the screw, undo the cable, pop that down there, take the ball off the back of the 7-inch, pop that down there, make sure it's going on the right way. So top of the screen is that way, arrows pointing that way, so there we go, slot that in there, tighten that up, screwdriver down there, power connectors in, pop that in there, and then pop that in the cradle. Make sure it's locked. There we go, job done. Right, so there's the 7-inch then, have a look at that. So it's a bit of a bigger beast. I don't know if it's going to interfere with any of the TFT. That's why I've not screwed the BMW power bracket up tightly, so I can just move it like that, so you folks can get a good idea of what that is going to be like. So let's pop that in there. God, the things I do for YouTube. Put the old rucksack back on. Hello. So let's start the bike. So if I tilt the screen down to a position where I want it, then it's just cutting off, and I'm 5'9". It's just cutting off the top of the rev counter. So if I just tilt it up a little bit, so I can see the top of the rev counter, but I cannot see the mileage and the riding mode or the fuel remaining. I can't see the top line, so there we go. That will just give you some idea about the size of the 7-inch screen. It is a bit of a big beast, folks. I think what I'll actually do is actually connect my phone to it so you can get a good idea actually. Right, let's do that. Let's do that. So I've now fitted the 7-inch unit to the BMW Power Cradle, and the first thing of note is it is substantially larger than the 5-inch screen. Obviously, being larger, you're just going to have to angle the BMW Power Cradle bracket. That's why I didn't tighten it up fully, so I could actually angle it, because I knew I was going to be swapping the units. So I've connected my phone to the unit itself, so CarPlay is fully functional, and you can see it is a bigger screen, and it's easier to read as well, clearly. Yeah, so if you don't mind having the bigger screen, then I would say go for the bigger screen. The only thing is, with that Carpuride power connector bracket on the back, then you're just going to have to play with the angle, and potentially you're just going to lose. You might have to duck down to read the top information line on BMW's TFT. But other than that, it's a super easy unit to read actually. Very nice, very nice. And also when you're using the left hand margin to select different things, etc., it just makes it a whole lot easier to actually access them, as all the icons are bigger, so it's easier to hit the target, shall we say. So anyway folks, you just got to make the decision up. Do you want to go for the lovely 7-inch or the 5-inch from Carpuride? Both screens are really good. As we mentioned, they are touch sensitive, so you've got to get a special pair of gloves. These are the only gloves I've got, and they seem to work perfectly fine actually. So everything seems to be good there, but some other gloves may be different. Anyway folks, that's it. We've come to the end of the video. I hope it's been of some use to yourselves if you're in the market for the 5-inch to go on the BMW, or indeed the 7-inch as well, or the 5-inch or the 7-inch to go on any bike, because they can be fitted onto any bike with the mounting brackets, etc., that come with them. Anyway folks, ride safe, and we will see you all again soon in the next video. Take care, and make any comments in the comment section down below for others to read. Thank you, ride safe, cheerio, take care, bye.